The XRP ETF Inflows Begin. That's the title of today's video because that's what we're observing. We got an update on the current events, financial markets, and how to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. And let me just tell you right off here from the get-go, XRP, along with our other utility cryptos, are destroying the returns of other majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana since the election. When we entered the new reality of a second Trump presidency, that was your cue to start investing in that new reality. XRP, XLM, HBAR, and a few others absolutely running this bull run, and it's only going to continue from here. The ETF inflows have begun, and I gotta send out the warning because a lot of people have been misled in thinking that this SEC versus Ripple case is extended till August. That is absolutely not the case. We're going to get it from Bill Morgan, one of our lawyers in the XRP community this week, to confirm what I've been trying to yell here from my office at you guys for the past week, is that a settlement agreement between the SEC and Ripple is most likely going to be agreed upon by Judge Torres this week. Last time around, it took her 7 days to make a decision, and she denied the settlement based off of an improper filing, procedural impropriety. Well, this time around, the SEC and Ripple have filed it properly, they've made their case, and now it's up to Judge Torres to make that decision, and it's coming this week. Let's take a look at our markets to get started. Right now, everything has been holding up really well, and we might have even seen the bottom over the weekend. Right now, we're looking at Bitcoin at 101.1 after popping up above 102,000 earlier this morning. Market recovering really well, but it has started to come back down in about the past hour or so based off of this news right here. Senior Iranian political source says that Iran is likely to attack U.S. military facilities in the coming hours. So we are watching to see if we are going to see a retaliatory strike, attack, shut off the Strait of Hormuz. But from everybody that I'm listening to right now, it sounds very unlikely that they're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Even China is demanding that we don't block it off. But even if they do, it doesn't sound like they're going to be able to block it off for long. And that's what the market has been pricing in, that this conflict is going to wrap up here shortly, or at least we've been desensitized and digested the worst of it, and now we're going to move on. For XRP, it was a big drop down to $1.91 over the weekend. Depending on your exchange, you might have saw a price discrepancy of a penny or two, but basically back down to $1.90 over the weekend. And I took advantage of this opportunity to not only double down on my XRP long, but I also bought another bag of DAG, Constellation DAG, the ticker's DAG. And I also bought a bag of Axelar, AXL. And so I'm going to be doing an AXL Axelar deep dive this week, along with my Stronghold SHX deep dive. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I already did the deep dive on DAG. That's in my 2025 coin review playlist if you guys want to check it out. I think that we have an easy 10 bagger on the way for that one. I'll show you guys the chart on that one here shortly. We have watched 6 super tankers carrying crude have performed U-turns in the Strait of Hormuz in the last 24 hours, according to Telegraph. Now, this has not impacted the oil price dramatically yet. We're watching right now crude oil at $73.50, spiking up here a little bit in the past hour or so, as we wait to see if Iran is going to retaliate. But basically, if you look here over the past week, we did get that run up to $77 per barrel, but we've cooled off since, and now we're back down here to 73.5. But once again, we're not in the clear, and so I've set another order for entering an XRP long even below the level that I just added to. So I will triple down on my XRP long if we see an escalation, if the markets want to tank one more time. I have zero doubt about the V-shaped recovery that comes on the other side of this. And so I will triple down on my XRP long if that does play out. But I think that the bottom is in, and in particular with XRP, we get that settlement accepted by Judge Torres this week. We'll be off to the races. Now, this is what we're getting from the Fed. Another Fed chair saying that the environment for dropping rates has arrived. He says now is a good time to consider an interest rate adjustment. If inflation continues to fall or the labor market weakens, the interest rate could be lowered, Fed Chair Bowman. So this is the perfect setup. You got all of the macro, structures there for dropping rates, for making that money printer go burr with that big, beautiful bill. and then you combine that with the crypto legislation like stablecoin and market structure, this is setting us up for the next wave of this bull run. In particular with XRP, well, you have the case settlement and you have the ETF inflows, which have begun, as I titled this episode, and as I'm about to show you here in the next couple slides, the inflows have begun. Now, I'm going to share in the description of this video because a lot of people have been asking me about Caleb and Brown and whether or not your assets have insurance and bankruptcy remote protection. The short answer is yes. It is provided through Fireblocks, which is the institutional custody provider that Caleb and Brown has partnered with. And so here's the full article that I'm going to link up in the description of this video. This is from Fireblocks, How We Meet Institutional Standards, Insurance, Compliance, and Security. And so I'm not going to read it off here, but I'm going to post it down below for you guys. And I am going to read off another statement that I got from Caleb and Brown as far as insolvency, bankruptcy, remote protection. So if Caleb and Brown goes bust, what happens to your assets? Here's the response that I got. Client assets are insolvency, bankruptcy, remote, as they are held on trust by Caleb and Brown as a custodian. That is, while the legal title may be in Caleb and Brown's name, clients retain beneficial ownership at all times. They do not form part of Caleb and Brown's assets in the event of an insolvency. So yes, you have insurance. Yes, you have bankruptcy and solvency remote protection as well. So I know a lot of people were confused on whether or not Caleb and Brown provided that. Caleb and Brown has their own insurance, but then Fireblocks has additional insurance, and their insurance is pretty extensive. Not only do they have insurance on your assets that they're storing, but also while you're transferring your assets as well too. So I just wanted to provide that. The link will be down below if you guys want to look into that further. I've been nothing but pleasantly surprised with my relationship with Caleb and Brown as far as buying XRP, selling XRP. I bought Zebek over on Caleb and Brown, and it's been nothing but flawless as far as my experience over there. So that's linked up down below if you guys want to add another platform as an option for yourselves. Now, here's another crypto that I've already added, but I just doubled down a couple weeks ago, and basically I've now tripled down on my position, and that would be Constellation Network. DAG, D-A-G is the ticker. And what I'm showing you right now is CoinGecko in the market cap chart on Constellation. And what you see is that the market cap peaked out over 1.1 billion back in August of 2021. Now, the all-time high price for Constellation was about 46, between 45 and 50 cents. And so what we've seen here is a big drawdown on Constellation. And I think that we've found the bottom here. Over the weekend, I saw that the market cap was below 90 million, and I took advantage of that. The price on that was 3 cents. And so I just made another entry on DAG over the weekend at 3 cents. And I'm going to buy some more of this DAG as long as I can pick it up between 3 cents and 5 cents, because I think that this one easily runs to 30 to 50 cents once again. That's not a new all-time high. That's nothing crazy. That's literally just going back to its previous all-time high. And that's going back to $1 billion market cap, which I think is a much more fair value for this network and for this asset as a whole. And so I just tripled down on my position with DAG over the weekend, scooping up some more at 3 cents. I think that you have an incredible opportunity. You buy it at a 90 million market cap, you ride it back up to 900 or $1 billion market cap, and that would be your 10 bagger right there. And so double down on my XRP long, triple down on my bag of DAG, and then for the first time I picked up a bag of Axelar, AXL, over the weekend as well. So I was a buyer over the weekend. What were you guys doing? Let me know what prices you were able to pick up XRP at, and let me know if you guys picked up any other cryptos as well. I hope you were, because I think that the bottom is in, and I think that our utility cryptocurrencies based in America are about to dominate the rest of this bull run, just like they already have since the election. Now, I put out the warning. I've been sounding the alarm because a lot of people were getting misinformation that the case was delayed till August. SEC versus Ripple saga, it's going to go on forever, another 60 days. Everybody's sad. And I get that people are exhausted and tired of hearing about this case. I'm tired of talking about it. But I am not tired of warning you guys about opportunities that I see coming. And the opportunity before us is the fact that the market is not pricing in an SEC versus Ripple settlement agreement being accepted by Judge Torres this week. Now, don't take it from me. Take it from a lawyer who actually understands what's going on here, Bill Morgan. He is responding to this guy right here. I've never seen this guy before. Altcoin Bail says, breaking, SEC versus Ripple, SEC versus XRP final decision could be delayed until late 2026. Huge month in August. Now, this is just an absolute clickbait trash post. Absolute garbage. It's just disgusting what these guys put out here. Be very careful who you listen to in this space. I told you guys, the way to go viral with XRP content is to put out the biggest XRP FUD, like that piece of crap post that he just put out, or to put out XRP hype about it going to 10K next month. That's how you make XRP content go viral. That is just a ridiculous post that the case is going to go on till late 2026, huge month in August. Wrong. Just like everybody else that said that the case is delayed till August. Wrong. That's at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. At the Second Circuit, in front of Judge Torres, sits the new settlement agreement between Ripple and the SEC, and she gets to decide on that any day now. And my prediction is that she's going to accept it this week. This week. Bill Morgan responds to this post, and he says this is not on the cards unless Judge Torres rules against the latest joint motion. So basically, if she denies the settlement agreement, then this would be on the cards. And rather that making the common sense decision to live with the summary judgment decision and the current penalty and the permanent injunction. The settlement process breaks down completely, and both parties run their appeals. An improbable outcome. Very unlikely that she does not accept this settlement agreement. She denied it the first time because it was improperly filed. It's been properly filed. They've made their case. The exceptional circumstances, she's going to accept this week. And so many people are getting this wrong. And the usual clickbait fudsters are running around with all sorts of crap like they do every single day. Be very careful who you listen to. And once again, I'm tired of talking about this case. At this point, it's all noise. It is going to come to an end. But what I'm not tired of warning you guys about is opportunities before us, and that's the fact that the market is not pricing in a settlement agreement being accepted by Judge Torres this week. Prepare yourself accordingly, however you see fit. There's a few that we believe will outperform Bitcoin this year, such as XRP. I think most of these will double. This is Steven from Canary Capital. They have an XRP spot ETF, and listen to what he has to say about XRP outperforming Bitcoin.
It's what you move in. You know, anything that's in or not everything, but most things that are top 20, we're constructive on. We're very constructive on Bitcoin, but there's a few that we believe that will outperform Bitcoin this year, such as XRP, SWI, and even Sol. More constructive on some of the larger cap cryptocurrencies like SUI and Solana and XRP, even Litecoin and HBAR. I think are going to be have a really good possibilities of making it.
So are you comfortable saying pretty much all of those will have 10% upside?
Oh, I think most of these will double this year.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're going to 120, this.
Very conservative, but he's spot on. And not only that, we already have been destroying the returns of Bitcoin and Ethereum since the election. In fact, I just took a look at it. Ethereum is down 6% since the election. It's just embarrassing over there, honestly. Bitcoin is still up about 50% since the election. XRP still over 300% since the election. XLM up 150% since the election. And all of our other utility cryptocurrencies that are based in America are all outperforming Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana combined. So yeah, he's spot on. And now the inflows have begun. We've seen ETFs live in Europe. They went live in Brazil. Now we have XRP spot ETFs live in Canada. And we got the update here this morning from 3iQ Digital Asset Management. Pleased to announce that just after 3 days of trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the 3iQ XRP ETF has accumulated 32 million in assets under management, making it the largest exchange traded fund focused on XRP in Canada. So there you have it, folks. Our XRP ETF's impressive success after only a few days of trading, similar to what our Solana staking ETF experienced very shortly after its launch, underscores the benefits we offer to both retail and institutional investors looking to increase exposure to digital assets. The inflows have begun. And so we're talking about over 120 million came into that double XRP ticker, the 2X futures ETF that Sal Gaberte with 2Cream, they brought live in April. We've seen additional futures ETFs for XRP go live, and those inflows are starting to come in. But these spot ETFs, they have to be backed by physical XRP, and this is where it gets exciting. Already 30 million assets under management here on just this one ETF out of Canada. There was about 3 ETFs that went live that we know of, probably more on the way in Canada. And this all sets us up for the US ETFs to go live sometime in the next couple months. But the inflows have begun. Make no mistake about it. In my opinion, we just saw the bottom on XRP over the weekend. If we don't get the Strait of Hormuz getting shut down, if we don't get an escalation in this war, that was the bottom most likely. Right? And it's probably too early to say with 100% certainty. Nothing's 100% certain. So I'm not going to say the bottom is 100% in. I'm not going to say that we're never going below $2 again. But if we do, I'm tripling down on my XRP long. You guys already know that. Because I'm positioning myself for the settlement agreement to be agreed upon by Judge Torres this week. And I'm positioning myself for not just 5, not just 10, but probably 15 to 20 billion of inflows into the spot ETFs year one, which takes XRP to a double-digit price with ease. I hope that you guys are prepared as well. If you want to get tapped in with our community, just head to ZachRector.com. We have one-on-ones available. We have crypto exchanges, wallets, and other precious metals community resources available at the website. We appreciate your support, and on the way out, if you could like this video, we would greatly appreciate that. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care and God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.